The Rubaiyat of Umar Khayyam. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Algie Pug. The Rubaiyat of Umar Khayyam, translated from the French of J. B. Nicolas by Frederick Rolfe. Section 1, verses 1 to 100.
Lo, phosphor! And a voice from the tavern crieth, Enter, hilarious Philippots, hybrist youths! Enter, and fill yet one more cup of wine, before that fate shall fill brimful your cup of life. Thou, who in the whole universe art my chosen lover, thou, who dearer art to me than the soul that giveth life, than the eyes that lighten me. No thing, O lover o' me, more precious is than life, but to me than life more precious by 100 times art thou. Who brought thee this night to me thus far elate with wine? Who, raising thy covering veil, hath led thee hither? And who hath brought thee, like a swift-blown breeze, to fan the flame of that which in thine absence hath not ceased to burn? In this world, where for a little while I stay, I savour naught but sorrow and ill chance. Of all creation's mystery not one hath been explained, and now, heart full of grief, and knowing nothing, I perforce must go away. Deign indulgence, O Cudger, to my least desire. Favour thy tongue, and go before me on the Iranian road. Certes, I walk aright. It is thou who seest awry. Ah, cure those eyes of thine, and let me be in peace. Arise, and come to me, and to empleasure me solve one problem. Quickly bring a pitcher of wine, and let me drink before that of my clay they shall make pitchers. When I am dead, lave me in Woolvine's juice, for dirges chaunt at my tomb the lords of cup and wine. And if at the last day thou shalt wish to find me, seek me in the dust upon the threshold of the tavern. Seeing that, from day to day, none can give thee news, delay not to rejoice thy sorrowing heart. Drink of the rosy cup, O lover o' me, envisaged as a moon, for Astraki will make many journeys ere she come anigh. Let the true lover always be elated, dazed, drowned in wine, clothed in dishonour. For to his sober senses cometh sorrow on all sides assailing him. But when he is full of wine, let come what may. What, in God's name, doth that mage expect, who shall have fixed his heart on the elusive treasures of this palace of mischance? Let him, who hath denounced me as one with wine elated, reconsider, for in heaven he will find no tavern stigma. Al-Quran, which all agree to call the word sublime, rarely is read, and in no enduring manner. On the lip of the cup I find diaphotic verse, which always and for ever I love to read. Thou, who drinkest no wine, blame not the drinkers for drinking, for if God forbade me wine, him, not it, I would renege. Boast not thyself because of thy sobriety, for boasting ill becometh a man stained with crimes 100 times more blameworthy than mine. Beautiful though my person be, and pleasant its exhaled perfume, though my countenance be tinted like the tulip, though my form be slim as cypress, nathless, none have told me why the master painter put me in this picture of the world. So much of wine, so often will I drink, that, when I lie i' the grave, I may scent the air with fragrance of the blood of grapes; and half-filled drinkers, coming to pray for my repose, shall taste my odours, and achieve complete oblivion. An heart hath a higher value than 100 Kabas formed of earth and water. Wherefore, in the region of hope, attach all hearts to thine with all validity; and in the region of the presence, ally thyself with a true lover. Yea, seek an heart, and let the Kaba go. When with this hand I grasp a rosy cup, when with joyful soul I drown myself in wine, then in a realm of inextinguishable fire I see the realisation of 100 miracles, and voices, clear as limpid streams, explain all mysteries. Seeing that a day is but the birth, the crescent prime, the slow decay, the death, of darkness and of light, haste to drink wine, diaphanous wine, for know that thou canst never more regain thy life once passed away. Seeing also that thou knowest all worldly things inevitably to be doomed to die, as dieth the unborn day, then emulate the day, be born, surge to thy crescent prime, descend in slow decay, and die in wine. I am the self-sold slave of Citius Iarchos. To that god's smile I sacrifice my soul as holocaust. O vision entrancing! O Ganymedes, whose left hand lieth in the caress of the flagon's neck, whose right preferreth the brimming cup proffering the quintessential purity of its blood. Behold me, throned among the ruin of my treasures, compassed round about with wine and choral dances, having pledged for these my all, my soul, my heart, my raiment, and eke my cup. Thus do I free myself at once from hope of pardon, and from dread of penance, from the very elements of earth and water, and of air and fire. From unfaith unto faith, from doubt to certainty, one passeth in a breath. Then gaily let this precious breathing pass, seeing that, from life to death, one passeth in a breath. O wheel of fortune, whose insatiable hatred engendereth destruction, since time's beginning tyranny hath been for thee an act of predilection. And thou, O earth, what priceless treasures await the searcher in thy breast? A little while, and the journey of life is accomplished. It passeth as passeth a wind o'er the wilderness. Wherefore, while one breath of life be unbreathed, I neither take heed of the day that will dawn, nor of that which hath died. Apart is the mine where this precious ruby was found. Apart is the depth of the sea, where this rare pure pearl no stain hath sullied. I am wrong, neither mine nor sea depth is apart, but the secret of true love is told in a language apart. Seeing that I have my turn of youth to-day, I spread it out from dawn to sunset, and from sunset to dawn, while I drink wine at will. Slander not the delicious juice by speaking of its bitterness. It empleaseth me, and it is bitter only because it is my life. O my poor heart, seeing it to be thy lot by sorrow to be bruised even unto blood, seeing that nature willeth to overwhelm thee with new torments every day, declare, O soul, what gear thou hast in this my body, seeing that thou soon must leave it. Today thou canst not flatter thyself that thou wilt see tomorrow. Even to think of tomorrow is pure foolishness. If, then, thine heart be wakeful, lose not in sleep this moment of thy life, of whose continuance I can see no proof. except upon necessity, one ought not to knock at every door. From sheer necessity one must accept good with ill fortune in this world, for one can only play the dice which fate hath numbered and cast upon the chessboard of this little sphere. As I am now, this picture once hath been, unloved but loving, sighing for fair Parthenian tresses. Once the handle on the picture's neck hath been a lover's arm, curved in embrace round the throat of Agapima. To thee, to me, many twilights, many dawns have come. Not without reason doth the world go round. Wherefore, when thou settest foot upon this dust, be mindful, for, doubtless, it once was the apple of the eye of some fair maid. The Kaaba and the temple are for worship. The chiming bells chaunt naught but lauds dominical. Lectern, chaplet, church, and cross are only different means of paying homage to divinity. Long ago were written on the tablets of creation those things that are. On ill, on good, no more the universal pencil worketh. That which ought to be imprinted on the roll of fate, God unalterably hath imprinted there. I cannot teach the good those mysteries wherewith I teach the bad. I cannot develop a thought germ whose nature is to die. I know a place which I cannot describe. I have a secret which I cannot disclose. Here no base coin is current. From this abode of cheer the broom hath swept it. An elder, returning from the tavern, said to me, "Drink wine, O lover of me, for many lives will follow thine, thou sleeping thy last sleep." To the divine decrees the man who would succeed must bow. To the decrees of men the man who would succeed must use well-seeming and hypocrisy. In the way of artifice, all that human wit, most skilful, can invent, I have employed, but fate hath blasted my designs. If a stranger be faithful to thee, take him for a kinsman. If a kinsman bewray thee, take him for a stranger. If venom heal thee, take it to be an antidote. If the antidote grieve thee, take it to be venom. There is no heart that thine absence hath not bruised to blood. There is no clear seer able to resist the spell of thine enchantments. Seeing that thy soul careth not for any one, all perforce fall captive to thee. As long as I be not elate with wine, I have not perfect joy. In place of reason cometh ignorance, when wine hath mastered me. Between sobriety and drunkenness lieth an intermediate state. Oh, with what joy I there become a slave, for there is life. Who can believe that the maker of the cup doth dream of its destruction? What love hath formed these beautiful heads, these fair arms, these lovely hands? What hate hath destroyed them? Because thou art benumbed by wine, thou dost dread death, and loathe oblivion. Yet out of that oblivion there will bloom a sprig of immortality. For, seeing that, by his breath, Isa ben Miriam hath revived my soul, death hath no more domination over me. Be like the tulip, blossoming at Annunciation. Like her, take cup in hand, and when occasion cometh, drink wine. Drink, embracing thy young lover of the tulip-tinted cheek, lest, like a gust of wind, the domed cerulean overwhelm thee. Seeing that I may not have what I desire, to what purpose are desires, are efforts? I torment myself unendingly, sighing with regret, and saying, "Alas, too late I came, too soon I must depart." Seeing that the wheel of fate and fortune have never favoured thee, what doth it avail to count the 7 heavens, whether 7 they be or 8? Once more I say that 2 days matter not to me, the day that is gone and the day that is to come. Why such grief for a sin committed, O Khayyam? What great relief, or small, is gained by self-tormenting? He who never hath sinned can never know the sweet joy of forgiveness. Sin would not be if there were no pardon. Then why have fear? None may go behind the mysterious screen of God his secrets. Not e'en an Idaimon may pierce that veil. The breast of earth, and not another place, is our abode. O me, O me! And here also is a riddle hard to read. In this world of inconsistency, which serveth me for present shelter, I long have sought wisdom, in my search employing every faculty with which I am endowed. I have learnt at length that the moon paleth in the splendour of thy countenance, and that thy slim contours put the cypress tree to shame. At mosque, madrasa, synagogue, and church, hell is an horror, paradise a pearl beyond all price. But the seeds of this mis-ease have never sprouted in the heart of him to whom the Almighty's secrets have been opened. Thou hast journeyed through the world. All that thou hast seen is nothing. All that thou hast heard is nothing. Thou hast paced the universe from end to end. All that is nothing. Thou hast concentrated in a corner of thy chamber. All that is nothing, nothing. A wise man said to me one night in a dream, O lover o' me, the rose of man's joy bloometh not in the breath of Hypnos. Why then woo the dusty kisses of that twin of Thanatos? Rather spend with vine-crowd Dionysus nights and days, till that the pale cold brother stilleth thee in his arms. If that the heart of man knew all life's secrets, also, in the article of death, God's secrets would he know. If, now that thou art thou knowest naught, to-morrow, when thou hast left this thou, what wilt thou know? On that day when the heavens are confounded, and the stars obscure, I will stay thee on thy way, O thou whom I adore. I will seize thy garment's hem, and I will ask why thou hast given life to me, and hast taken life away. I must take heed that I tell not my secrets to the mean inquisitive. Even from the bulbul must I hide them. O consider to what torture thou must put the souls of men when thou forcest them to shrink from their brother's gaze. O Ganymedes, seeing that time doth lie in wait to crush us, thee and me, never can the world be an abode enduring long, for me and thee. But, whate'er befall, know with full assurance that God is on our side, while his cup of wine shall be twixt thee and me. Long, cup in hand, have I walked mid the flowers of the world, yet not one of my designs hath been accomplished. Nathless, though in my cup I have not found my heart's complete desire, I will not turn aside, for he who undertaketh a journey must of need go forward. Grace my hand with a cup of wine, for my heart is burning, and my life is flying on the wings of Hermes Pteropoes. Rise, for fortune's favour is a dream. Rise, for flaming youth will fail while waters fall. I am love's worshipper, and in me Islam hath no part. I am a paltry emmet, and he who bade the sluggard seek me and consider is in another place. I desire pallor and a tattered garb, all for love, and silken fabrics are bought and sold elsewhere. To drink my wine and take my pleasure, that is how I live. To care no jot for heresy or orthodoxy, that is my creed. Of the world, to whom humanity is betrothed, I have demanded what might be her dowry, and she said, "My dowry is to see thine heart enravished with delight." Neither hell nor heaven do I deserve. God knoweth of what clay he formed me. I am as sectarian as a dervish, as ill-visaged as a lost woman. Nor faith nor fortune have I, nor hope of heaven. O man, thy passion is as common as house-dogs who can do naught save bark. It hath the cunning of a fox, a tiger's rage, a wolf's voracity, and it maketh thee as wakeful as the fearful hare. How lovely are these verdant pleasaunces which lie by the brook side! They were born upon an angel's lip. Place not disdainfully thy foot on them, for they have bloomed from the seed of a tulip-tinctured countenance returned to dust. Every heart illumined by the light of love frequenteth the shrine of its illuminator. He whose name is written in love's book is free from hope of heaven and from fear of hell. The kingdom of Kavus, the throne of Kobad, the realm of Tus are worthless beside a throatful of good wine. I prefer to the whining of pious hypocrites the sighs of a lover whom mourning hath bereaved. Though sin hath soiled me, nathless I still have hope, as pagans have, serving graven images. For on that day, when I shall die of drinking deep the day before, I will call for wine and my lover, for what do hell or heaven signify to me? I drink wine, not for pleasure, nor for profligacy, nor to renege religion and good morals, but solely to escape a moment from myself. That motive only impelleth me to drink till I lose consciousness. They say that there will be an hell, ay, that hell already is. They say what is not true, what cannot be believed. For if there be a hell for lovers and for drinkers, tomorrow heaven will be as empty as the hollow of my hand. I am required to drink no wine during the month Shaban, nor during the month Rajab, which is consecrate to God. I concede to God and to the Prophet Shaban and Rajab. In the month Ramazan, which is reserved to me, freely will I drink wine. It is the month Ramazan, the season of wine is over. The days of limpid wine and of simplicity are fled far from me. O me, the cellar of wine unvisited remaineth, and the young girls, waiting, yearn. This ancient inn, which men are pleased to call the world, this home where light and darkness live in turn, is but the remnants of 100 potentates, as great as Jamshid was, is but a tomb which serveth as a sleeping place for 100 kings, as great as Bahram. Why lacketh thine hand a cup on this fair day, when the buds of fortune's roses burst in bloom? Drink wine, O lover a me, for time is a foe implacable, and the retrieval of such a day a thankless task. The palace where Bahram loved to take his cup in hand is now a wilderness where the lion taketh rest, where gazelles bring forth their young. Muse on Bahram, who caught wild asses in a snare. Muse on the tomb which hath caught Bahram in its turn. Clouds, spreading in the firmament, begin to weep upon the grass. I cannot live another instant without wine of amaranth hue. The verdure of to-day is pleasant to mine eyes, but that which from my dust will spring, whose eyes will it rejoice? This day is a dinner. Therefore set aside thy little cup, and drink wine from a bowl. If on other days thou dost drink a bowlful, to-day drink two, for this is a day above all days. O lover o' me, seeing that the world maketh thee sad, seeing that thy so pure soul must depart thy body, go and take thy pleasure, seated in some verdant mead, during these few days, till other verges blossom from thy dust. Wine can manifest its substance in a multitude of forms, as the form of an animal or the form of a plant. Believe not, then, that it can cease to be, or that its substance is capable of annihilation, for by itself it is what it is, although its form may disappear. From the fire of my crimes I see no smoke arise. For no one can I expect a better fate. When I lay this hand, which man's injustice causes me to lay upon my brow, on the robe of any man, I get no consolation. He whom thou most securely trustest, viewed intelligently, will be seen to be thine enemy. Men being what they are, the wise man seeketh not a friend. To-day men's conversation is not good, save from afar. O unthinking man, this carnal body is nothing, the vault of the 9 bright heavens is nothing. Give thyself to pleasure in this place where confusion reigneth, seeing that our life herein endureth but an instant, which is also nothing. Get thyself a gymnopædice, and wine and a lovely girl with the ravishing features of an Houri, if Houris there be, or seek out a beautiful stream flowing by grassy banks, if grassy banks there be, and ask nothing more. Think no longer of this extinct hell, for beside that which I have shown thee there is no other heaven, if heaven there be. Seeing an elder tottering tipsy from the tavern, carrying the prayer rug on his shoulders, and in his hand a bowl of wine, I said, "O elder, what doth this mean?" And he replied, "Drink wine, O lover o' me, for this world is emptiness." A bulbul drunk with love, who came into the garden, seeing the smiles of roses and of wine, drew near and whispered me with fitting tongue, "Beware, O friend, and remember that life will not return when it hath passed away." In all particulars, O Khayyam, thy body resembleth a tent. Thy soul is a sultan within, and its last resting place is naught. When the sultan hath left his tent, the bearers of death come and take it down, to erect at another halting place. I, Khayyam, who sowed the tents of philosophy, suddenly am fallen into the crucible of sorrow, where I burn. The shears of fate hath cut the thread of my life, the retailer hasteneth to part with it for nothing. In the springtime I love to rest at the meadside, with a lover like an Houri, and a pitcher of wine, if such things be. And seeing that these tastes of mine are blamed by all, I grant that I should be obscener than a dog, did I ever dream of heaven. Welcome is rosy wine in a coral cup, with melody of barbitos and lyra's gentle sigh. Welcome also is the pious man, who knoweth not the wine-cup's joy. Welcome when he stays 1,000 leagues away from me. Time passed in this world without wine and song is worthless. There is no reward except the melodies of Iraq's flute. Vainly have I studied worldly things, and I have seen that joy and lust alone are worthy. The rest is naught. Beware, O lover o' me, for thou must be parted from thy body, to retire behind the screen of the hidden things of God. Drink wine, knowing not whence thou camest. Be of good heart, knowing not whither thou goest. Seeing that my parting from this world is sure, why do I live? why do I desire to compass happiness, to arrive at the impossible? Seeing that, for a reason which I have not learned, I must not be left here, why do I make no preparation for my departure? Why am I careless in its regard? There is a time when I chaunt the lords of wine, when I surround myself with its accessories. O pious man, art thou satisfied to know that thou hast wisdom for a master? Then learn this one thing more, that thy master is but my pupil. They continually accuse me of depravity, though I be wholly innocent. O sanctimonious ones, first try yourselves, and see what manner of men ye be. Me ye arraign on a charge of breaking laws divine. Nathless, no evil have I done, but I worship Dionysus and Pothos and the Cyprian. If thou dost sell thyself as slave to thine own sufferings, I foretell that thou wilt end in beggary. Learn rather what thou art, and whence thou comest, study what thou doest, know whither thou goest. The universe is but a speck in my insignificant existence. The Oxus is but a faint trace of my tears blended with my blood. Hell is but the spark of my inefficacious tortures self-inflicted. Heaven is but a momentary rest which sometimes in this world I enjoy. I am a slave in revolt. Where is thy will? My heart is black with sin. Where is thy light? Where thy control? If thou openest heaven only on mine obedience, thou dost but discharge an obligation. And these things being so, where is thy good will? Where is thy mercy? I am altogether ignorant as to whether my Maker doth belong to a heaven of delight, or to a hateful hell. A cup of wine, a fair lover, and a forminx in a mead are three present joys, but thou sustainest life on a promise of joys hereafter. When I am drinking wine, its foes appear on every hand to induce me to abstain, alleging wine to be the enemy of religion. For this exquisite reason now I dub myself faith's champion, and with God's aid I will drink wine, knowing that to drink the blood of his enemy is a meritorious deed. Moonlight bursteth from under night's dark robe. Drink wine then, for a moment so precious rarely cometh. Plunge thyself in pleasures, for this same moonlight will illuminate earth's surface long after thou art gone. Impute not to the wheel of fortune all human good, all human ill, all joy, all sorrow, sent by fate. For this same wheel, O lover a me, in the way of love, is more encumbered by 1,000 times than thou. No shield, however staunch, no silver and no gold, can turn aside fate's arrows. The more I ponder worldly things, so much the more clearly do I see that there is no good but good, and naught is all the rest. That heart's in sorry case, whose walls do not enclose it strictly from the world. For vain regret doth seek a daily prey therein. Only the heart that shutteth the door on care can keep gladness in, for outside all is torment. He who in wisdom hath sown joy in his heart hath lost no day in sorrow, hath used his wits to win the smile of God, hath achieved his soul's repose by taking in his hand a cup of wine. God, moulding my body's clay, knew what I would do. Not without his connivance am I culpable. Then at the ultimate day, will he let me burn in hell? When thou hast drunk wine daily for a week, beware that thou abstainest not on Friday. For our faith makes no distinction twixt that day and Saturday. Adore, not days, but him who made the days.
End of section. Section 2 of the Rubaiyat of Umar Khayyam by Frederick Rolfe. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Verses 101 to 200.
O my God, thou art merciful, and mercy is clemency. Why didst thou put Adam out of Eden? If me thou pardonest only by cause of mine obedience, thou art not merciful, but thou wouldst be merciful to pardon me, sinner though I be. Let wisdom go, but lay thine hand upon the cup. Let go heaven and hell, and seek the river of paradise. Fear not to sell thy silk turban to buy wine. Doff thy fine habits for habits of simple wool. Tell me, O lover of me, what of worldly riches have I been able to acquire? None. What of time passed away is left to me? None. I am joy's torch, but when its light is quenched, I am no more the torch of joy. I am Jam's cup, but being broke, I am no more the cup of Jam. Where be the dancers and wine? Quick! For the calabash claimeth my devotion. Happy the heart unforgetful of its morning wine. In this world there be three things dear to me: a head which swimmeth in wine, a fair lover, and the chaunt of the morn. Seeing that life doth not endure, what matter whether it be sweet or bitter? Seeing that through the lips the soul must pass, why trouble whether it pass at Nishapur or Bulk? Drink wine, for long, long after thee, from crescent unto full, from full to crescent the moon will pass. In stranger skies the caravan of life goeth by. Beware, O lover o' me, for thus the time of joy evadeth thee. Vex not thyself because of grief which will attend thy comrades on the morrow, but swiftly serve a cup of wine to me, for night is flying. What wounds hath he not dug in the sorrowful heart of man, who laid the foundations of the world and of the rolling heavens? In this small orb of earth how many Reuben-tinctured lips hath he not hid? What tresses of hair perfumed with musk hath he not there interred? Be not a dupe of the world, O thoughtless one, seeing that its ways are known to thee. Cast not thy precious life upon the winds, but quickly seek thy lover, and drink a cup of wine. Stay me with flagons, O my lovers! Give to mine amber yellow visage the hue of rubies. Wash me in wine when I am dead. Of vinewood make mine hatchment and mine hearse. On the divan of fate my lot was fixed, on the day when the heavenly steed of stars of gold was saddled, when the planet Phaeton and the Pleiades were made. How then can I merit blame for playing the part that was assigned to me? How pitiful it is to see crude dough lording it over good bread, to see witless men possessed of endless wealth. The eyes of odalisques are a heart's feast, yet sleek slaves and mere apprentices have them. From the book of life my being must be blotted out. In death's arms I must expire. Then, seeing that I must become clay, O lovely Ganymedes, gaily moisten me. Now, while mine heart still liveth, but few problems seem to lack solution, yet when I call mine understanding to mine aid, I see that my life hath fled, and that throughly I know nothing. The worshippers of the prayer rugs are blockheads, seeing that they of their own free will submit to pious hypocrites, who, strange to say, preach Islam under a cloak of piety, but in real truth are worse than pagans. When my tree of life shall be uprooted, when my limbs shall be dispersed, when of my clay pitchers shall be made and filled with wine, then my clay will live again by cause of the wine which it embraceth. Thou, in whose eyes sin is of no consequence, command some sage to proclaim this important dogma, that philosophy teaches the absolute absurdity of making divine foreknowledge answerable for sin. In the beginning my life was given to me, sans mine assent, by him who hath ordained that very life to stupefy me. In the end, with great regret, I shall quit the world, without understanding the object of my coming, of my staying, of my going. My sins, returning to my memory, kindle in mine heart a flame that burneth up presumption. Yet it is well known that a generous Lord pardoneth his repentant slave. These potters, who continually thrust their fingers in the clay, who use their wit, their understanding, their every faculty, to give the form, how long will they persist in trampling on it with their feet, in slapping it with their hands? Do they not think, do they not know that it is the clay of human bodies that they misuse so? Men, whose wisdom hath made them rise upon the world like cream, who by their intelligence survey the height of heaven, like the firmament they have their heads turned tops i' the turf. Wine is promised to me in paradise, then why forbid it to me here? Once upon a time a tipsy Arab hamstringed a camel of Hamza with his sabre. Simply on that account hath the Prophet declared wine unlawful. Seeing that thou hast the remembrance only of past pleasures, seeing that all thou hast is a cup of wine for thy true lover, enjoy at least thy last possession, and let not the cup escape thine hand. Ah, the time to come, when I shall be no more, when I shall leave nor fame nor trace of me in the world which still goeth on. Before I came, the world lacked nothing. It will be unchanged when I am gone away. I do not know whether the men who go to and fro, who swiftly gather riches in both hemispheres, have ever understood the explanation of the true and real condition of worldly things. The most important thing in life I cannot grasp. Many a heart by death is drowned in blood, yet none return from the other world to bring me news of those gone on before. These many princes orgulous, proud of their pompous titles, are so preyed upon by griefs and pains that life to them is but a weary burden. But it is more ludicrous that they should condescend to call no one by the name of man, except he be enslaved by his sufferings, as are they. The tremendous wheel of fortune, whose office is to tyrannize, hath never loosened the knot of difficulty for any man. But when it seeth a heart in agony, straightway it hasteneth to add wound to wound. The years of my youth draw anear their term. The fresh springtime of pleasure passeth away. O me! I know not when that gay bird called youth did come, nor when it hath flown away. Bestir thyself in the whirlpool of this world to dive for pearls. Be seated on the throne of gaiety, and raise the cup to thy lips. God is unmindful of saints and sinners both. Therefore enjoy whatever pleaseth thee. Seest thou those 2 or 3 idiots who hold the world in their hands, and who, in their unveiled ignorance, believe themselves to be the mages of the universe? Vex not thyself by cause of them, for in their extreme content they consider all men who are not asses to be heretics. May the tavern never lack drinkers. May fire seize the skirts of the habits of religious. May those habits fall in tatters. May drinkers trample underfoot those habits of blue wool. How long will colours and odours deceive thee? When wilt thou surcease from thy researches in good and ill? Wert thou the source of Zamzam, wert thou even the water of life, thou wouldst not be able to avoid the grave. If thou hast wine, forswear not the drinking of it, for 100 regrets attend such resolutions. Roses burst in bloom, bulbuls fill the air with song. Would it be wise to forswear wine at such a time? So long as that my lover will not pour out soul-delighting wine, so long as that the heavens will not rain 100 kisses on my head and on my foot, it will be vain, when the moment shall have come, to invite me to surcease from wine. How can I do a thing that God hath not commanded? He who would be consistent must not neglect to drink wine, wine which hath the virtues of the water of life. He who neglecteth to drink it during Ramazan should also neglect the obligation of prayer. When I am dead, instantly level with the earth the dust of my tomb, so that I may become an ensample unto all men. Next, knead with wine my body's clay, and of it fashion the cover of a pitcher. Seeing that Fortune on her wheel, O Khayyam, hath raised her tent, and closed her curtains to discussion, it is evident that the eternal Ganymedes hath produced, under guise of wine bubbles in creation's cup, 1,000 other Khayyams like to thee. Be happy when thou canst, for sorrow hath no end. Wandering stars return to their stations in the firmament. Bricks made of thy clay will build palaces for other men. Live a life of joy, for many other travellers will journey through the world. The soul will cry after the body parted from her. And this brain, where passion sitteth throned, will be trampled under potters' feet. Happy the heart of him who goeth unknown, who hath assumed nor robe of ceremony, nor soldier's woolen vestment, nor Sufi's stole, who hath been raised to heaven, like Simorg, instead of haunting the ruins of the world, as doth the owl. Not to the faint of heart, nor to the poor of spirit, but only to the worshippers of Silas Iacchos is it given to know the language of roses and of wine. I pardon those who do not understand the hidden mysteries, whose joys are revealed alone to drinkers. One day, at the tavern, lack of water compelled me to perform mine ablution in wine. In those precincts he who shall have smirched his fame never may hope for instauration. Bring me wine now, for the veil of my shame is rent beyond repair. Lulled by vain hope, I cast upon the wind a part of my life, yet never had I known a day of happiness. And now I go in fear that time will not allow me to seize a chance of repaying myself what I have lost. O me, O me! Mine heart lacketh yet a remedy. On my lips' verge my soul doth tremble, nor hath she achieved the object of her love. My life hath passed away in ignorance, and the mystery of love is hidden from me. In matters of the soul walk warily. In matters of the world show favour to thy tongue. If that I shall have eyes, and ears, and tongue, in another world I do not need them now. He who, here, hath half a loaf, and shelter in any nest, who is master or slave of none, should be content, for a very sweet estate is his. Plant not the tree of sadness in thine heart, but peruse continually the book of mirth. Drink wine, and have thine heart's desire, for thy time is short. Hath mine obedience added splendour to thine empire, or have my sins curtailed thine immensity? Have mercy, O my God, and punish not, for I know that thou dost pardon early, and punish late. Sad would it be did this hand drop the wine cup to grasp Al-Koran and to lean upon the pulpit. As for thee, thou art a devout bit of dryness. As for me, I am depraved and drenched with wine, and I am not aware that fire can make water burn. He who hath not some thorns by time implanted in his heart hath never held a lovely rosy girl close clippet in his arms. No comb caresseth the perfumed hair of beauty till it hath been encarven with a multitude of teeth. May the juice of the grape be alway in mine hand. May love for fair forms, resembling houris, never dry up in mine heart. Some men say that God will command me to renounce my wine and my lover. Ah, I would never obey that order given. Never, never. Now I must go away, and sad is the day of my going, for of 100 precious pearls I have pierced but one. Through the ignorance of man, a myriad of ideas of profound importance remain unexpressed. This is a goodly hour, nor hot nor cold. The dew hath cleansed away the dust that lay on the rose bushes. The bulbul among the xanthine flowers proclaimeth that the time for drinking wine is come. On that day, when I shall be no more, when I am become even as a tale that is told, then it is mine humble wish that of my clay a wine flagon should be made, and commonly used in the tavern. Drink wine before thy name hath been erased from the book of the living, for sorrow shall leave thine heart when this nectar there entereth. Dishevel tress by tress the hair of thy fair lover before the sinews of thine own frame are loosened. O lover ami, ere sadness shall assail thee, call for rosy wine. O thoughtless fool, think not that, when thou art buried, I shall dig thee up again, for thou art not gold. The world hath reaped no advantage from my coming. Its dignity and glory will gain nothing by my going. Mine ears have never heard men say, "Why was he sent here? Why was he taken back?" All things that thou hidest are known to him that sitteth in the heavens to learn. Vein by vein he knoweth them, and hair by hair. I grant that, by hypocrisy, men may be deceived, but what answer wilt thou make to him who knoweth all the details one by one? Wine giveth wings to the victims of melancholy. Wine is a fair mole upon the cheek of understanding. During the month Ramazan, now passed away, we have not drunk it, and lo, we are here at the night of the feast of the month of the horse. Cheerfully live, for on a day all creatures that thou seest will lie beneath the earth. Drink, drink wine, nor abandon thyself to this world's sorrow. Those who come after thee will too soon become its prey. There is no night on which my soul is not dumbfoundered. There is no night on which my breast is not drowned in pearly tears. Mine uneasiness, preventing mine head from being filled with wine, is a bowl turned topside i' the turf, which may never be refilled. When my nature seemeth disposed to prayer and fasting, for an instant I hope to achieve mine heart's desire. But a breath sufficeth to annul the efficacy of mine ablution, and a half throatful of wine to make of no avail my fasting. Mine whole being is allured by the sight of lovely faces, tinted like the rose. Mine hand delighteth to raise a cup of wine. Let me rejoice in the rejoicing of each single part of me, until these parts be resolved into their whole. A worldly love taketh no thought, like an half-quenched fire, it giveth out no heat. But true love at all times knoweth nor repose, nor nourishment, nor sleep. How long wilt thou continue to waste thy life in worshipping thyself, in searching for the causes of thy nothingness, of thine existence? Drink wine, drink wine! For a life that endeth in death is better passed in drunken sleep. By tomorrow I shall have passed the mount that separateth thee from me, and with joy unspeakable I shall raise my cup. My lover is all mine, the times are favourable. When, then, should I rejoice, if not now? Some men, by gross presumption, become steeped in pride. Others avidly qualify for houris and heavenly palaces. When the curtain shall be raised, it will be seen that they are fallen far, 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 and farther still from thee. It is certain that paradise is a place of lovers, and of honey, and of limpid wine. Then here let us enjoy our lovers and our wine, for these be the end of man. Men prate of a paradise where the Calthair floweth, where houris be, and cates and limpid wine. Then fill the cup, and quickly place it in mine hand, for one present is worth 1,000 future joys. Even a mount would leap for joy didst thou water it with wine. Madmen only scorn the cup. When thou knowest wine to be a spirit which maketh man perfect, dost thou dare to order its renunciation? From time to time mine heart beateth against the straitness of its cage. It is ashamed of being nothing but clay and water. Often have I planned the destruction of this my prison, but then my foot would encounter a stone, while touching the stirrup of satisfaction. They say that the month Ramazan is at hand, when thoughts of wine must be put far away. Therefore at the end of Shaban I will drink so deep that I shall still be elate with wine, when into feast the fast shall fade. If that ye be lovers of me, so cease from foolish words, and serve wine to drive away my sadness. When I am gone to dust, make of me a brick, and place me in a fissure of the tavern wall. At times the brew of our being is limpid, turbid at times. Sometimes our vesture is fashioned from linen coarse, sometimes from Yemen silk. To him that understandeth, both have no significance. But is it insignificant to die? No man hath penetrated the secret counsels of the Hemamene. No man hath made a step outside himself. Having looked, I can see naught but insufficiency in master and in pupil, insufficiency in all men of woman born. Wean thee of thy desire for worldly things. Burst the fetters that chain thee to good or ill, and be content, for the rolling heavens will not cease to move, and life will not be long. No man hath pierced the veil of fate, no man hath learned his Maker's secret mind. Day and night, during 72 years have I reflected, yet now I know no more than I knew at the beginning, and the riddle still unread remaineth. On the ultimate day, they say, there will be parleys, and the amiable lover will be angry. From essential goodness naught can come save good. Have then no fear, for at the last gentle will be the aspect of thy lover. Drink wine, for it will end the anguish of thine heart, and will free thee from thy meditations upon the 72 races of mankind. Neglect not to make this alchemical experiment, for a single draught will bar 1,000 ills. Wine is forbidden. Be it so. but only according to the drinker, the quantity he drinketh, and the company in which he drinketh. These points being observed, who, except sages, would use wine? I pour out wine into a hanaper. I should be satisfied to quaff 2 measures of like bulk, but first I must be thrice divorced from religion and reason before I may espouse the daughter of the vine. Yes, I drink wine, and he who will view the act with undimmed eyes, resembling mine, will deem it insignificant in the sight of God, who hath known for endless ages that I should drink wine, and that, if I did not drink, his foreknowledge would amount to perfect ignorance. The rich man, who is a drinker, bringeth himself to ruin. The disorder of his drinking provoketh scandal in the world. Then let me put the emerald into my goblet of Balas ruby, and drown the serpent of my sorrow. The fool and blind, who never hath passed a night in quest of truth, who never hath allowed his mind to set her foot beyond his carnal wall, who goeth attired in the garments of a great lord, he it is who dareth to disparage one whose conduct is above reproach. When phosphor glittereth in the vaulted blue, let thy hand raise the sparkling cup. Truth, they say, is bitter in the mouth of man, and for this reason wine is truth. Behold the time when verdure cometh to adorn the world, when boughs burst into blossoms white as Moises' hand, when flowers arise from earth as though revived by the breath of Isa ben Miriam, when cloudlets wake to weep. Beware of putting thy body to grief and pain, that thou mayest get white silver and yellow gold. Feast with thy lovers, ere thy breath, already tepid, shall grow cold, for after thee thine enemies will feast. Each throatful of wine that Ganymedes shall pour into thy cup will tend to quench the fire of sorrow flaming in thine eyes. Great God, may it not be said that wine is an elixir chasing 100 sorrows from an heart oppressed? When the violet shall have dyed her mantle, when Sapphirus shall have breathed life into the roses, he who is wise will drink wine with a lover of form lacanthine, argyrus, and after dash his cup against a stone. The sanctimonious professor cannot appreciate thy divine pity as well as I. Not a stranger, but a lover alone can know thee well. They would make thee out to say, I will lead the sinner into hell. That they should tell to one who doth not know thee. A throatful of wine is worth the empire of this orb of earth. The earthen cover of the jar is worth 1,000 lives. The napkin, which shall wipe lips damp with wine, is worth 1,000 mitres of the sanctified. Convene, O lovers o' me, and when ye are assembled, rejoice together. When Ganymedes shall set before you cups of antic wine, remember poor Khayyam with a libation to his memory. Not once have the rolling heavens been propitious to me. Never, for a single instant, have they made me hear a voice of melody. Never, in a single day, have I breathed a second of bliss, but they have plunged me back into the depths of woe. A cup of wine is worth 100 hearts, 100 faiths. A mere throatful of this juice divine outvalueth the empire of China. What greater gift than wine can this world give? It is a bitterness 100 times more precious than the sweetness of life. Naught do the rolling heavens save to multiply our sorrows. Naught place they here that they do not instantly destroy. Oh, if those to come should know the suffering of which this world hath store, how assiduously would they refrain from coming! Drink, drink this wine that giveth life eternal. Drink, for it is the source whence youthful joys do spring. Like a fire it burneth, but, like the water of life, it quencheth sorrow. Drink. Lover o' me, to what end dost thou concern thyself with life? Why troublest thou thine heart, thy soul, with vain desire? Happily live, joyfully pass time, for, after all, thine advice was not sought when the things which are were made. Those who go down to the grave, they are ashes, they are dust. Here and there are their atoms scattered, separate each from other. What potion hath drugged the human race, making all men fools, knowing nothing till the judgment day? Lover o' me, comfort thyself as though all blessings of the world were thine. Conceive this house as containing all things, as delicately adorned. So, in a place where disorder reigns, thou mayest live happily. And if thou wilt imagine that thou art seated there for 2 days or 3, and that, then, thou wilt arise and go away. Of all religious dogmas, concern thyself with none save thy duty to thy Maker. Refuse not to another that mouthful that thou hast of bread. Avoid false speaking. Seek not thy fellow's ill. And it is I who promise thee the future life. Boy, the wine.
End of section. Section 3 of The Rubaiyat of Umar Khayyam by Frederick Rolfe. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Verses 201 to 300. Driven by the swift stream of time, which doth grant favours to those alone who least deserve, my life passeth in a whirlpool of grief and pain. Jagged as a rose-leaf is mine heart in this garden of created things, and, like the tulip, it is drowned in blood. Youth is the time for wine, the limpid juice of the wall vine, the clip of a lover. And seeing that this empty world by water hath been brought to ruin, it behoveth us to become elate with wine, to compass lifelong intoxication. Bring wine's balas ruby enshrined in a simple cup of crystal. Bring that which every well-born man at all times loveth. Seeing that thou knowest all things to be but dust, which a 2 days' breeze will scatter, bring wine. Thou whom the whole world seeketh, giddy and distressed, dervish and dives alike lack wings to rise to thee. In all men's speech thy name is heard, but all are deaf. To all men's eyes thine apparition cometh, but all are blind. A cup of wine and a complacent lover give me pleasure. When grief devoureth me, I desire mine eyes to brim with tears. O abject world, having no continuance, the best that thou canst offer is life drowned in wine. Drink not thy wine with the clown disposed to violence, having nor wit nor manners, for he will bring thee naught but chagrin. All night long thou shalt suffer the disorders of his carouse, his clamours and his follies, and at dawn his excuses and apologies will cause thine head to ache. Seeing that thou hast only an appointed portion, take no pain to achieve thine heart's desire. Weight thyself with no heavy burdens, for at the last stage thou must perforce unload, to pass beyond. Drink, O lover o' me, of this limpid nectar, undisturbed and still. Drink to the memory of those lovely forms that ravish hearts. Wine, O lover o' me, is the vine's blood,
and she hath said, Drink, for I give thee leave. Drink rosy wine when flowers unfold their bloom. Drink while shrills the plaintive flute amid the harp's melodious strain. I drink and I rejoice. May my soul profit. If thou wilt not drink, what wouldst thou have me do? Ah, go, drink dust. Art thou sad? Then take a morsel of hashish as large as a grain of barley, or drink 3 little quarts of rosy wine. Thou hast become a Sufi, abstaining from this, abstaining from that? Then naught remaineth save to drink the dust. Therefore drink it. At Hestern Eve, in the market-place, I saw a potter who fiercely pounded with his feet a lump of clay to knead it into shape. And to him, methought, the clay did say, Once I was like thee, a man, then be not harsh to me. Wouldst thou drink wine? Then drink with witty drinkers, with rapturous lovers of the smiling lip and tulip-tinctured cheeks. Discreetly drink, and publish not the matter. Chaunt not thy drinking in a chorus. Drink a little now and then, and behind a screen. Drink wine with slender lovers enravishing thy heart with coral cheeks. Hath sorrow's serpent stung thee? Then drink the antidote, O lover a me. I drink, and I am proud to drink. Propitious be the drinking. If thou wilt not drink, what wouldst thou have me do? Ah, go, drink dust. Lo, dawn! Arise, O Laics, and haste to fill the crystal cup with rubious wine, for later, long time mayest thou seek this throb of life lent to an empty world, and never find. A throatful of wine is more precious by far than the empire of Jam. Its odour surpasseth the fragrance of Miriam's mystical food. The sigh which, at dawn, leaveth him who is drowned in the depths of an Hestern carouse, outweigheth the sorrowful odes of Bonsed, or the dirge of Adhem. Lover a me, seeing the world's profoundest depths to be founded on a fable, why thus adventure in a fathomless gulf of woe? To fate entrust thyself, enduring ill, for what the style hath traced upon the tablets thou canst not efface. Who hath returned of all who on the longer road have run, that I might ask his news? Renounce nothing in this mean caravansary for the mere hope of something, O lover a me, for, mark me well, once gone, thou never wilt return. Seeing that every night and day do rob thee of a portion of thy life, let nor nights nor days heap dust upon thine head. Use them with cheer, for soon, alas, and long thou wilt be absent, yet night and day continually are here. The rolling heavens, which tell no man their secrets, ruthlessly have slain a myriad Mahmuds, each with his ayahs. Then drink wine, for life once taken never is restored, and none of those who quit revisit the world. Thou, mighty ruler of the universe, dost thou know the days when wine will gladden the soul? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, at high noon. Lover a me, full of deign and gaiety, be seated, and do not rise again, and so allay the fierceness of the thousand fires wherewith thy charms devour me. Thou hast enjoined me not to look on thee, but if thou bidst me tilt the cup, the wine is spilled, despite of the forbidding. Rather would I be with thee in the tavern, where I need not hide from thee my secret thoughts. than be without thee praying at the Mahrab. Yea, O Maker of all that hath been, and of all that is, whether thou wilt plunge me in the flame, or wilt show me favour, that is my belief. Associate thyself with witty men, and honourable. Fly 1,000 farsakhs from the fool. If the one should give thee venom, drink it. If the other should offer thee an antidote, spill it on the ground. Once more the clouds are fallen on the roses, covering them as with a veil. Mine heart yet hath unsatisfied its want of wine. Nay, lie not down. The hour is not yet come. Drink wine, O lover o' me, drink wine, for on the horizon Phoebos still lingereth. Like a falcon, from a world of mysteries I flew, hoping to attain an higher, but alighting here, where all lack worthiness to share my secret thoughts, once more, by that same door by which I entered, I emerge. Man, with desire irresistible thou hast endowed, desire which thou forbiddest him to satisfy. Betwixt desire and denial, man goeth in perplexity, as though thou hadst commanded him to tilt the cup, while forbidding him to spill the wine. They have gone upon their way, yet never a one returneth to give me knowledge of the secrets hidden by the screen. Not by prayer, but by an humble heart, are spiritual favours won, O man of many orisons. For what is prayer sans humility, or sans sincerity? Throw dust on the vault of the heavens, use wine and thy lover. For where seest thou subject for pardon, or subject for prayer? Since, of all who are gone, not one is returned. Seeing that I have never pierced the pearl of that obedience which is thy due, seeing that, from mine heart, I have never swept thy footsteps' dust, I hope to reach the threshold of thy mercy's throne, for I have never importuned thee with complaints. Anew we start upon our course of pleasure, while reciting without ceasing the takbir of 5 prayers. But chiefly thou shalt see, when the flagons shall be present, thou shalt see our necks, and the flagon's neck outstretched towards the cup. We in this world are but the mannikins with which the rolling heavens play. This is no metaphor but truth. In short, we are pawns upon a living chessboard, which at last we leave, to enter one by one the vast void. Thou hast asked of me, what is this elusive worldly show? To tell thee the whole truth would be too long, but it is an imaged fantasy issuing from a boundless sea, wherein, when all is done, it is again engulfed. This day by love I am distracted, and the dregs of my being stirred. In truth I am with wine elated, and in the temple of mine idols I render to Dionysus the worship which is his due. This day, indeed, I am separated from life, and to the threshold of the throne of eternity I soar. May the life of my well-beloved endure as long as my sorrows endure. For once more she hath shown me favour, casting on mine eyes a sweet and furtive glance. Then vanishing, without doubt saying to herself, let us do good and cast it in the water. The dawn is come. Arise, O dainty Ganymedes, sip a cup of wine, and let me hear thy lyra melodiously sing, for life is short to those who sleep, and not one of all the dead returneth ever. Thou who knowest all secrets hidden in the depths of each man's heart, thou whose hand doth raise all those who on ill case are fallen, grant me strength to renounce. Hear my plea, O God, who strengtheneth all. who hearest the pleadings of all. On the walls of the city of Tus, perched by the skull of King Kavus, I saw a bird, who to that dry bone said, "Where is the fame of the chain of thy glory, the sound of thy salpinx?" Ask me no more of this world of change, ask me no more of future hope. Vex not thyself for the past, seek not to know the future, and treat the present as a spoil that thou hast won. May dread of the unknown future never make sallow thy cheek, may present pain never make thee shake for fear. Enjoy, in this void world, all that cometh in the name of pleasure, and deem not that heaven will withdraw its favour from thee so doing. If thou wilt hear, I give thee this advice. For the love of God, put not on the cloak of hypocrisy. Eternity hath neither end nor beginning. The world but an instant endureth. Then for that instant exchange not imperial eternity. Of mine own ignorance I could discourse for ever. Mine heart is weighed down with my nothingness. Now I will stole myself like a priest, by cause of the species of Muslim of which I am. When thou hast well drunk, be happy, O Khayyam. When a lovely girl near thee is seated, take thy fill of joy. Seeing that all worldly things shall come to naught, think of thyself as nothing. But seeing that thou art something, give thyself up to pleasure. But yesterday, passing the workshop of a potter, I saw 2,000 pictures, some speaking, silent some. Methought they asked me, where may be the potter? Where may be the buyer of pictures? And the vendor? Yesterday, when I had well drunk, I passed before a tavern, and I met there an elder half drowned in wine, who bore a calabash upon his back. To whom quoth I, "Old man, hast thou no fear of God?" He answered me, "Mercy cometh from him. Drink a cup of wine." How long wilt thou let thy failures grieve thee? Failure followeth them whose care is for the future. Then cheerfully live. Vex not thine heart with worldly care, and know that wine augmenteth by no jot the bitterness of sorrow. Wine, whose worth is known to the wise, to me is the water of life, and I am its prophet Elias. To the heart it is a balm, to the soul it is a strengthening elixir. For, saith not God himself, that man his benefit shall find in wine? Despite that wine be forbidden, cease not to drink. Drink it at night, drink it at morn, drink it with song, drink it with sounding of lyra. When thou canst get that which like a ruby shineth, spill but a drop on the ground, and drink all the rest. Different faiths divide mankind into nearly 72 nations. From these I have chosen the worship of thy love. Then what matter mere words, such as impiety, Islam, sin, and religion? Thou art mine aim. Away with all else. Count one by one my qualities of good. Count by the score my qualities of ill. Pardon, for love of God, pardon every sin committed. Fan not hate's flame with breath of suffering, but remember God his prophet's tomb, and pardon me. Truly, wine in the cup is a limpid wit, a soul transparent in the body of the flagon. An ugly body is unworthy of my company. Only the cup may figure there, for that is both a solid body and diaphanous. O rolling heavens, which know not hospitality of salt or bread, constantly thou keepest me as naked as a fish. The weaver's rolling wheel weaveth robes for men. wherefore it hath more charity than thou, O rolling heavens. He liveth a life of shame, O Khayyam, who hath let his heart be grieved by worldly things. Then drink, to the sound of the lyra, drink wine in a crystal cup, drink, ere the crystal on stone be broken. If the rose doth not fall to my lot, yet the thorns remain. If light come not near, yet the fire of hell flameth. If I have not yet the caftan, nor Kaaba, nor Molla, yet the stole and the church and the bells are mine. If the rolling heavens will not grant me peace, am I not ready for war? If I have not honourable repute, do I not go abashed? Behold a cup of wine of rubious hue. Ask for him who will not drink it. Hath he not a head? Is there not a stone? Look on the coming dawn which now hath rent night's veil. Arise, and drain the morning draught of wine. Nay, be not sad. Drink, O lover a me, drink a cup of wine, for succeeding dawns continually will turn their faces to us, when we have turned ours to the dust. This false world containeth naught save graceful shadows. Ill-advised is he who doth not join himself to them. Take thine ease, O lover a me, drink a cup of wine, give up thine heart to mirth, and thus deliver thee from all vain forms, from all impossible reflections that assail thy soul. When thou hast for thy companion a lovely girl, formed like a cypress, with a skin fresher than a newly gathered rose, leave not the flowery mead. Loosen not thine hold on cup, till death's north wind, like the wind that scatters the rose petals, shall tear to tatters the vesture of thy life. How long these moans and groans against the world? Come up higher, and gaily pass the time. When grass shall clothe the universe from end to end, drink a brimming cup of rubious wine. To thy free soul admit no thought that is vain. Through all thy years drink wine, always from brimming cup. Deal ardently with the daughter of the vine, and let thine heart rejoice. For better it is to use the forbidden daughter than the mother whom the law alloweth. My love is at the summit of its flame. Altogether lovely is that which enchaineth my soul. Mine heart speaketh, but my tongue is still, refusing to give utterance to my sentiment. Great God, can there be a stranger thing than this? Not thirst consumeth me, though by me floweth a fresh and limpid stream. Take in thine hand a cup of wine, and with the bulbul's voice sing thou, for were it well to drink the wool vine's juice sans melody and song, the wine would make no murmur, flowing from the flagon. On account of crime committed, despair not of the clemency of the sovereign Creator, of thy merciful Lord. For shouldst thou die to-day, when drowned in crime, to-morrow he will forgive thy saprous bones. O rolling heavens, whose rolling doth not please me, enfranchise me, who am unworthy of thy chain. If it be thy will to favour only the poor in spirit, and the fool, then I have neither wit enough nor wisdom. O Molla, more ingenious than thou am I. Though I be elate with wine, I have the sounder judgment. I drink the blood of the vine, and thou the blood of men. Judge therefore which of us twain may be the bloodier man. He who hath wisdom's sum seeketh heart-joy in a cup of wine, doth not distract himself with problems of past or present. In fine, he freeth, though only for an instant, from reason's shackle, the soul of which he hath alone, and which in prison groaneth. When I shall have done with death, when, like withered leaves, my somatic atoms fall from the branching tree of life, how gladly shall I sift the universe as in a sieve before the apparition of that mason who will sift my dust. Methinks this universe, this vertiginous vault of heaven, is like a lanthorn. The sun is the light thereof, and men are the graven images thereon, dizzy, basking in the rays. It is thou, and not I, who hast formed me from water and clay. It is thou, and not I, who hast woven this silk or this wool. It is thou, and not I, who hast ordered me so that I do good or ill. Lover and me, let us take no thought for to-day or to-morrow, but use this brief moment of life as a spoil. For on a day when we shall have quitted this old home, we shall have fellowship with those who are departed 7,000 years ago. Weir, that thou be never for an instant without wine. For wine alone giveth shape to the wit and heart of man. If that Iblis had but tipped the cup, he would have adored Adam in 1,000 genuflections. Arise and dance, O dancer, amid our waving hands. Drink by the side of lovers with languishing eyes of Narcissus. Joy is not very great, when a score of cups hath been drained. But when 70 stand empty, how strangely complete is our joy. I have closed myself the door of desire, and so I am freed from all knowledge of those who are men, and of those who deserve not the name of a man. For, seeing that only one lover remaineth, to whom I may stretch out mine hand, I am what I am, and that is betwixt him and me. The rolling heavens continually make me sad. The baseness of my nature maketh me rebel. I know not how to fly for ever from this world, nor how to live herein without becoming worldly. Here, on this world, how many men are plunged in sleep! How many are buried in its breast! When I let mine eyes rove over this void wilderness, how many men I see who are yet to come, how many who even now are gone! Armed by thy mercy, I have no fear of sin. Provisioned from thy store, I trouble not about my journey. And while thy good will whiteneth my face, of the black book I have no dread. Think not that I fear the world. Think not that I fear to leave it. Death, being an eternal verity, hath no terrors for me. But what I do fear is, that I shall not have lived enough. How long shall I be the slave of reason all day long? What import, whether here I dwell during 100 years, or during a score of hours? Bring wine in a bowl, O Ganymedes, before that I am changed into a pitcher in the potter's workshop. How long wilt thou blame me, O fool of a dervish? I frequent mine inn, and always I am drowned in wine. Thou art wrapped in thy chaplet, thy shams, and thy devilish schemes. I live, cup in hand, just as I please. For the music of flutes I will sell the diadem of the Emperor of China, and the Sophie's crown. For a cup of wine I will sell mitre and cope of silk. I will sell even the chaplet, which by itself contains an host of hypocrites. When vine juice fermenteth not within mine head, the universe provideth, as an antidote, that which envenometh me. For, in sooth, the vexation of the world is venom, and wine, its antidote, which I will drink that venom may not vex me. How long shall I blush by cause of man's injustice? How long shall I burn i' the fire of this colourless world? Arise! and if thou be a man, banish worldly care, for to-day is a festival for rosy wine. I continually strive against my passions. Why? The memory of my deeds is as 1,000 pangs to me. Why? I know that thy clemency will pardon sin, but the shame of knowing that thou knowest me remaineth. Why? Soul, thou and I are like a compass, one body with 2 points. On one point turning we describe a circle, but there will come a day when our 2 points will reunite at last. Seeing that this world is not our everlasting home, how huge an error would it be to take away our wine, or that we should cull no favours from our lovers? O man of peace, why these continual discussions on creation and the world's eternity? When I am dead, it matters naught to me whether the world be old or new. Once to the mosque I dubiously went, but not to pray. I stole a prayer rug there. Use wore it thin. Thither again I went, and yet again. Be not cast down by sorrow by cause of this changeful world. Engage in no employ save to drink wine. For, O lover o' me, consider first that pure, clear, rosy-tinted wine is the blood of the world. Consider, secondly, that the world is our murderer. And consider, thirdly, that thou shouldst not refrain from drinking the blood of him who spilleth thine. For the love I bear to thee, willingly I will suffer all blame, and if I break that vow, I will pay penalty. Oh, had I to endure the torments caused by thee until the ultimate day, still the time would seem too short to me. I am a late comer among men, and I have fallen beneath human dignity. Life, which doth not accord with my desire, is better finished, for I have had enough. Seeing that the world passeth away, I only wish to play therein, to think of pleasure and of limpid wine. Men have said, "May God cause thee to renounce them," and I reply, "Let him not give me an order that I will not obey." When low lieth mine head at the feet of death, when Hades shall have plucked me like a fowl, make nothing save a flagon from my dust, for the odour of the wine therein, perchance, for an instant, will revive me. When I look into worldly matters, I see that men usually steal the good that is therein. O Omnipotence, I see all I do not wish to see in all I see. I am the chief of the drinkers in this tavern. I am plunged into revolt against all law. I, soaked in pure wine, cry all night long to God the sorrows of my high Matero's heart. Count the addition of the nights when I cannot close mine eyes, when the cruelty of my loneliness doth grieve me. I will rise and breathe an instant before the breath of dawn, for dawn will breathe breaths a many when I shall breathe no more. The dawn is come. Raise in thine hand a cup of wine, and breathe. The fragile crystals of repute and honour, break them on the stones. Renounce unsatisfied desire. Think only of thy pleasure in the touch of the tresses of young lovers and the lyrer's melody. Here, where with every breath we breathe new sorrow, better not breathe at all except a cup of wine be in thine hand. When dawn doth breathe, arise, and drain thy cup from time to time, for many a dawn will breathe when thou wilt breathe no more. Were the sins of the whole world to weigh me down, I dare believe thy mercy would hold out her hand to me. Thou didst promise to help me in the day of mine adversity. Then fulfil thy promise now, and give me no worse lot than that which is at present mine. If I be elate with wine, I am elate with wine. If I be infidel, fire worshipper, or idolater, I am idolater, fire worshipper, or infidel. Each single group is an item in my account. But what doth that matter? I am what I am. At no moment of my life have I not been drenched in wine. This is the night of Kedra, and I am drowned in wine. My lips kiss the lips of the cup, my bosom is pressed to the jar, and I shall hold the neck of the flagon in mine hand till dawn. By the sight of limpid wine unceasingly mine eyes are fascinated. To the melody of flute and cithara unceasingly mine ears attend. If the pot shall form a pitcher from my dust, may it ever be filled with wine. All that men know of nothing, that know I. The height and depth of every thought also I know. Well, let all my knowledge be annihilated if I recognise a sublimer state than that of being drowned in wine.
End of section.